Okay, good. So, the thing is working. We're gonna wait a few moments for few people to gather. Botan, namaste, thank you. Thank you, Teresa. Beautiful people. Thank you for joining. Hello, Apostle Linnea. I hope I say the name correct. Beautiful to see you all. Thank you for gathering. I was very much puzzling, after yesterday event, what would be the best way to be able to maintain and create a beautiful sacred space through the internet, because the fact that there are many comments and people are entering and leaving, and there's a movement, constant movement, it's not that aligned, we can say, with the essence of sacred space. So during night school, I was praying all night school. I was, hello, Michael from India. So during night school, I was praying that we will have the appropriate supports of the angels and the light beings, and the download and education that we need, that I need, together with you, to create and maintain a sacred space through the internet, although we are in the middle of this Silicon River, we can say. So I'm very much still, again, very much enchanted and happy to be able to offer this week for you. And as you understood from yesterday, the reason that this week is actually presented is part of the festival, we can say, the celebration of this year, and of light language class, after more than 1 year, 1.5 years, that I took a sabbatical. I'm coming back to the teacher chair gradually, and I took a decision that I will be teaching light language only once a year, which is something that is different. Usually I was teaching 3 or 4 times a year light language. And usually I'm talking about 15 years. So light language will be taught only one time, and that will be in the beginning of the year. We will start light language initiation online on February, level 1, and then level 2 at the end of February. And I will speak more about that, and you can see also in the presentation, we can say, of the post. You will be able also to see that. So what are we doing in this event? I called it Live Light, and I was asking people, my followers, people that knows me, what are the Nadeshwari? So blessed to see you. So I was speaking with people and asking people to share with me your burning questions, and I was picking 7 topics that feels like a ceiling, like a limitation in someone's life. And I relate to limitation in the sense that someone feels as he is not arriving into sensation of fulfillment, or he doesn't feel that he's bringing himself or able even to advance in life because of those topics. So yesterday we were tackling of course, the tiring topic of financial prosperity, abundance, independence, etc. And today we will go and look on another topic, which is whether you are aware of or not, it is a huge limitation. And I was expecting, by the way, that yesterday will be so many people going to join because, you know, money, everyone wants to think about money and to figure out how he's dealing with the physical realm, and that will be less people who will be joining us to speak about emotion, as this is a type of a silent taboo, and this is really how reality looks like, and this is also indicate the level of frustrations that many people are living at, since I do not feel from many people that I'm seeing, as this is my profession, and I see so many people during my life, my professional life, and I know not many people are investing time, energy, education to understand what it is emotion, and how to play with your emotion and what to do with your emotion, how to support that your emotional body will support you to grow, to evolve, to achieve, to manifest whatever you want to manifest, even if what you want to manifest finally would be cash flow and, you know, like, let's say, as I said yesterday, large amounts with S at the end. Yes, even if this is what you want to manifest, if your emotional body is not capable to deal with those waves of life, then you will face some limitation, and you will face places that you do not dare to go into. And let me introduce some of the places that, if your emotional body is not mature, we can say you limit yourself. And here are some. So as I said, financial abundance, because if you don't feel comfortable to deal with all the interaction that you need to deal with as you are growing with your money, let's say your income, whatever income it is, you wouldn't go there. You can also have some challenges to go into intimate relationship, or what you will do is that you will settle with a very mediocre, unfulfilling intimate relationship, because somehow inside of you, you will silently say to yourself, I better not go to an intimate relationship that is, let's say, a full emotional penetration, not only physical penetration, because there's some things that I don't want no one to shake in my reality. So sometimes I see people who have challenges to manifest intimate relationship because they have challenges to feel comfortable with their emotional waves. Of course, to manifest some of your projects, to move into being more known. Many people want to move forward and to project some projects in the world. And as you would like to be more known, let's say, and more in service, in a greater service, but your emotional body is not developed, you will make many how would I say, you will create many little problems to avoid moving forward in what you would like to manifest, because you do not want to deal with greater exposure that most likely will be overwhelming to your emotional body. So this is a little introduction, and actually one of the people were writing me yesterday that I will introduce a little bit myself. So I feel that this is an appropriate time now to say, so clearly my name is Homaya. I'm walking in life with the name of Homaya, and well, I will introduce myself in relation to that. You can say, sometimes I'm saying that I'm spiritual teacher, and as you see, I have some issues to say that I'm a spiritual teacher. Very hard to express that. I can say that I'm living from a place that put attention to what is happening within me and what is happening in my environment, and I'm doing my best to contribute through light and positivity. And I am a part of Kurander's lineage, a lineage of that is rooted in the shamanic knowledge. And the beautiful thing in this lineage is that we are working with sacred geometry, unlike many other shamanic lineages that use other instruments, we can say, and additional elevators and supports. What is very special in the lineage that I'm coming from is that we use we have training how to play with our consciousness to manifest reality, and the main training is through light language, which is the conscious play with sacred geometry and colors, which this is what we will also do here. We're going to speak a little bit about emotions and about moving from emotional drama, emotional addiction, we can even say, to emotional maturity. And me myself, I admit, I had really zero, if not minus, education about my emotions and my emotional body until I started working with light language. And through that, I was gradually, with the years, have shifted my emotional body into a more stable, a more balanced, a more mature emotional body. And of course, it is a constant work. So the level of maturity that I am now is relative, and life will be, thanks God, keep on offering me other experiences for me to evolve. So your level of emotional maturity or your level of addiction to emotion is very unique to you. You cannot compare that, not to your parents, not to your family members, or to your partners, or of course not to your child, because it's something super relative. And this is actually a source of power and a source of force. So let's start understanding what actually is an I see other beautiful people joining in, so thank you for that. So let's understand a little bit what is an emotion or emotional body. You've heard me many times in the teachings saying and explaining that our body is a bridge between what reality or reality experiences and consciousness. And inside our body, if we look at it like that, if we look at it like, gradual bodies, inside of all of what we relate to body, there are different bodies, and one of them is our emotional body. And our emotional body is another bridge in the big bridge. So if all of us, of all this being perception of something real as a physical body and its energetic field, inside of it, if this is, all of that is a bridge, inside of it, our emotional body and our emotions are another bridge. And this is a bridge of how we translate mental perception in the physical experience. And please take a deep breath. I'm going to repeat that and elaborate it. The emotions, as we take it so real, are actually a bridge. It is a liquid zone. It's not a stable zone. Most likely you are already aware that you are experiencing a new emotion every 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, depends on how you take track of your emotions and how your emotional vocabulary is expanded and rich. Because if your emotional vocabulary is very dry, you not necessarily even realize how many emotions you're able to feel. And I can tell you another thing, as a mother, since I became a mother, I start to have cocktails of emotions, and I can drink like guilt together with immense bliss simultaneously at the same moment. Like there's no problem with that. So we have very large emotional capacity, but not necessarily we are aware of that. And whatever we deal with through our emotion, it will always be liquid. It's not something stable, and you cannot grasp it, you cannot hold it, you cannot even maintain it, or you cannot pump it. You know, if you are angry or if you are frustrated, you can be frustrated sooner or later. It actually depends on how much you are generous towards yourself. Sooner or later, it will transform. Of course, you can hold it, but you will not be able to hold it at the same intensity that you hold it in the first place. It will go and move as a wave. So this bridge is bridging between I'm using the word mental, but I'm actually referring to our ability to perceive what exists to us, within us. We are perceiving we have a certain experience, we perceive a certain data, we translate it inside of us, and this data that we perceive, it could be, you know, practical from reality, but it is merged and infused with an energetic download. Yeah, I will elaborate that in a minute as well. So please take a deep breath, and we will go back. I can hear some people questions and echoes, which I'm very grateful for that. So whatever we perceive is being translated physically. And there are motions of energies that are moving through our subtle body, crossing the emotional body. And there, the body, our physical body, starts to react, start to relate, start to work with this wave. Why? Because this is part of how we contribute and how we channel energies, wisdom, perception into the physical plane. And please breathe. We take subtle vibrations and they get denser and denser through our mental body, through our emotional body, and finally through the physical body and the material plane. This is part of manifestation, and this is also part of ascension. So in ascension, many of you, maybe you don't call it as emotion, but you can sit in a meditation or you can chant or do a sacred work, and then there is an emotion, you do yoga, and then suddenly, without any connection to nothing, suddenly there's a cleansing that is happening through, that appears as an emotion, because the body takes the silent, we can say, the subtle silent emotion and clear it. So we need to understand, although we relate to emotions like an unknown monsters, this is actually a bridge. And I picked the name of a bridge also to explain why we are being addicted. Most of the people, we are addicted to emotion, and why we are holding some emotion as a limitation. Because we need to fulfill the entire, you know, we need to bring to completion, that would be the best way to express it. We need to bring to completion the entire emotional wave, so we will be able to move forward. This is the thing. We got something, we have seen something, we render something from reality that change the well-known perception. So I was in a room, I was very okay with myself, and suddenly someone told me something with such an emotional charge, or let's say with such a strong energetic charge, that it completely created an overwhelming sensation and created a doubt in my image, my image of life, my image of myself, my image of reality. There was a crack in my reality. Someone told me, you're stupid. Someone told me, your father died. Someone told me, gave a certain threat. Someone could be a person or reality. The earth was shaking. My image of my very well-known, comfortable image of what there is was shaken. And at that moment, I need to render everything and readjust all my mechanism. And my emotional body, my sadness, my joy, my fear, my anger, my frustration, my jealousy, my shame, my guilt, all my emotional attributes starts to come forth as waves. We gave them name, like we gave name to colors, like we gave name to people. We gave them names, but those are emotional waves. Those are charged. So they start to process. And they start to move because they need to take this download and they need to take this energetic charge and plug me, let's say in that case, plug me back to reality. Now, if I would have a certain resistance, if I would not have the space, the sacred space, if there's so many reasons why, if I would like to keep control, if I will resist, if I will deny what is what is happening, then clearly my emotional wave will either stop, or if it will be stronger than me, it can take me, we can even say, etc., etc. But that will not come to its fullest experience, and therefore it starts to be charged. Now, I didn't go into too much details, and also, explaining the difference between emotions and feelings, etc. There's a whole teaching about that, and for reason I'm not going there today. I do not want to overcharge us with that. But if I would like to continue from this point, that this whatever we experience, this wave, this emotional wave, need to come to the shore. It cannot stay in the ocean of emotions, because when it stays in the oceans of emotion, it will seek its home, because it knows its, let's say, duty. It knows what it needs to do. Our emotional wave is there, waiting to achieve a fulfillment, a completion, and it will stay there until it will arrive to its fullest. Then what is happening is that if we did not take responsibility, we would like to take responsibility and have an aware process of transmuting those emotions. But if in the cases that we do not do that, we start to have an emotional addiction. And what do I mean by emotional addiction? I mean that there's a composition of hormones that the body will try to reproduce again and again, to be able to escort this. This again, I'm starting from the energetic download through the mental, through the emotional, to the physical. So the body will keep on reproducing and seeking to reproduce this composition, this hormonal composition, with a level of oxytocin and a level of adrenaline, etc., etc. So the emotion will be able to be carried to completion. And I'm repeating what I started the teaching with. You want to let the emotion arrive to the shore, because when it will arrive to the shore, your entire being will be upgraded into a greater level. Your spiritual connection, your alignment with your soul, your ability to be in high level serenity, inner peace, that you're able to integrate strong emotional waves and download and silence. It needs clarity through all the way until the physical body. So your body is doing it for you. He wants to take the emotions into completion. And therefore, it will reproduce it again and again. And there would be two options now. One option is that you will be ignoring that and holding yourself back. And then what you will do, as I said, you're going to start to be addicted to the drama. You start to be addicted to emotion. You will trigger them again and again, and you will do whatever you can do to reproduce the same sensation, like a record that is stuck on the same song, and even not a song. Again and again and again, you sing the same song and you do not move forward. And for a drama, you don't need so much, because you will be able to reproduce it as long as you want, because your system is very well aware of the setting that you need for that drama. So if you would need a persecutor, if you would need someone that will make you feel guilty, you will just pick up a person and translate his attitude towards you, so you will feel guilty. If you are, if it is important for you, if it is essential for you to feel neglected or left behind or rejected, so it is okay that someone will not say hello in the street for you, and you're gonna make a whole big story out of it. So this is one option. Yeah, this is one option. You just keep on continue drama, and you will do whatever you can with awareness or without, unfortunately without awareness, to avoid seeing reality as it is. And if I was giving this example, someone told me that I was not behaving well, or someone told me that my father passed away, or my mother passed away, or whatever, and I do not want to accept this reality, although this is reality, I would prefer drama. You know, I would prefer drama. I would prefer keep on producing that if it is challenging for me to be in peace with facts, with what is real, the drama will be the king, the queen. And the other option, and when I say drama, I actually also saying in that place being emotionally immature. Because emotionally immature means that the past experience will always come forth. What I felt when I was 3 years old and someone have changed something, or I felt hurt, or I felt lonely, or I felt neglected, etc., will just come forth. Then someone will tell me something minor and I will start reacting, because my emotional body wants to finally bring that to completion. I will start reacting and I will prefer the reaction. So this is one option. And the other option is that you cultivate and create sacred spaces and rituals to allow your emotional body bring those emotional waves into completion. It doesn't mean that whatever was painful for you will not be painful anymore or will not be significant anymore. Whatever pain or hurt that you have experienced will still be there. Yet you will be able to relate to it, and you know what? You will be able to let it live inside of you. That is the first thing. You will be able to let that live. You will be able to accept it as part of you and to start even receiving the fruits and the goods that came from this specific energetic constellation and this experience. There is nothing in this world and nothing in your life that is here to hurt you. It is still hurting you until you will make peace with it and let the whole emotional wave complete itself. My emotional story or my emotional background is unpleasant. Unpleasant. And I was a victim of my emotional story for years until gradually I started working and doing work and bringing awareness into this charge. Now, whatever was in my history starts to be something that trained me. And I'm not only talking about, making me more powerful or in the sense, like if it doesn't kill you, it's whatever. I know there's a sentence like that. Not in that sense, really in the sense that I am embracing the gifts and the qualities that I needed to develop within me to be able to deal with that emotional experience. And in my case, we can even say emotional experiences because it was not only one. So what do we do with that? We will probably, you can do so many things to work with your emotions. You can write a journal constantly. You, of course, can go to a therapy, whatever kind of therapy that echoes and suits you. You can dance. You can do many things that are physical because, as I said, the physical body knows that there is emotion to discharge, and he knows what to do to support you. So you dance, you do your emotional movements, and well, it's not really emotional movement, but the body knows to take the emotion out. So you can say emotional movements. There's so many things that you can do. And part of it, of course, you can also work with light language. So in the email that you've received today, just before, oh, I see some of my friend Sabine, which is a queen of a dance, and my perception just joined when I was speaking about dance, which is so beautiful. I'm assuming, I'm just now seeing that you joined. So what does it mean working with light language? There are many ways to work with light language, and I was sending you with intention 2 things. One is a shape and a color. So in light language, we're using sacred geometry. Sacred geometry is a 3-dimensional, how would I say, a 3-dimensional conjunctions of etheric qualities. It takes on a form. This form is getting denser and denser through our perceptions and through our consciousness, and is being projected through the system, through our third eye, through our system. Is being projected to reality, and since reality is a return light, so you are able to see that as something, as an experience. Everything that you see in your reality has a shape. You can see your computer, your pencil, yourself, you have a shape, everything is a color. It's not that, I'm not telling you anything new, but what we do in sacred geometry is the sacred geometry and light language let's say like that, light language as a language of sacred geometry and colors arrived from the Curanderos lineage rooted in the Mayan, and what the shaman were able to do is that they were able to decode those pieces of fractals, we say, that create reality. And in light language initiation, we get all the fractals, we get all the ABC of light language, and then we're able to create new compositions and heal ourselves and heal. By that, we think that we manifest something in the outer world, but what we actually do is that we are purifying ourselves and we are clearing what we project and how we project, so we will be able to see and to exchange with the beauty and with the abundance of possibilities and opportunities that exists. We're able to click, 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 and create another, let's say, video, another film, another story. We can participate in another story. So there are two things that I sent you. One is a shape, and the shape is sweet. When I do a little break, then I suddenly see many people and what you're writing and sharing. So the shape that I've sent you is an advanced shape of light language, and what I actually feel, I cannot of course teach you about the shape now, for that there is an advanced initiation, but what I can introduce to you, and I feel that will be interesting for you to work with, is to pay attention to the range of color that this shape is bringing forth. And this shape is, if you can see, there's a little bit of a turquoise in it. We call it a medium aquamarine. If we want to work on emotional maturity and we want to cultivate a more stable emotional body, this is the zone that we would like to work with. And if we are a spectrum, a rainbow of light, from the red in the first chakra to the white to the indigo in the crown, so all the spectrum is opening up, you see that this area, the blue, the water, the liquids, the expressions, and also the download, what you've received karmatically, or what you're, and instead of saying karmatically, I would say what you're still bringing from your past life. This is staying more in this area of your body and your energetic bodies, and your heart as the center of, I don't want to say the heart as a center of emotion, because it's not really the thing. What is happening is that the heart is the most high pure vibrational of emotion. It's like it is the ruler. It is the one that will give a perception of emotion. As your heart is more mature, as your heart is more in peace, as your heart capacities are stronger, brighter, bigger, whatever you would like to relate to that, whatever words are more echo more with you, then you can use it. But it's this zone of between the green of the heart and the blue of expression and of flow, because an emotional maturity is, in other words, what I would say for emotional maturity is healthy flow of emotion. Is that it's you are okay to move from sadness to joy without that taking you, shaking you, and you started to feel grudge or frustration and trying to hold a certain emotion etc. So this is one of the reasons that the turquoise and many ranges of turquoise, of the turquoise color, are very suitable to support you working and purifying yourself and moving your emotional body into a mature emotional body that has no charge, denial, frustration, doesn't hold any bitterness. There's no residues. There are no residues. As I was offering to you yesterday in the live light session about financial independence, here I offer the same. Print the geometry in a colorful printer, and I would put this one. I would actually put it somewhere next to my bed or something like that. I'm saying it and I'm laughing even because I have done several times things like that, that I really needed a certain geometry. I needed a certain pure vibration, and I was just creating it and putting it next to my bed because it will create a resonance with my subtle bodies, and silently and sacredly my emotional body, and in that case when you print to yourself, your emotional body will start to tune with this specific wisdom of emotional maturity. So this is one thing, of course, that you can do for yourself. And the second thing, the second little gift that I was sending to you is a vibration, as I said yesterday, of a community grid. And this is a grid that you can print. Again, please print it. Please print it in color, and please make sure both, either the constellation or we call it grid, okay? Either the grid or the single geometry, please make sure that you are using it in an impeccable way. It means that it needs to be kept clear, clean, without stitches or without, I don't know, drops of water or, you know, whatever, hairs of cats, or you just keep it clean and clear. You can print that and you can put that in your altar, and you will be able to see that there's a date to this specific grid of consciousness, and bring awareness. Let yourself play with it and work with it until that date, and maybe even a few days afterwards, and observe what is happening in your body. Now, there's sometimes some tendencies for some people that they are having a mental, I would say, expectation from a certain geometry to work or from light language to work. And I'm teaching a lot about that in level 2 of light language, how to not interrupt the geometry and light language to work with you and to present to you, within you, a new beautiful reality. So for now, just let it work. Don't start to tell story to yourself, and be in a receptive mode. Be in a receptive mode and note to yourself. If you're doing a journal, write to yourself from time to time, what do you feel that have changed? And of course, I would be happy and grateful if you will be able to share that with me. So 3 things, well, actually we can say 4 things for you to support yourself to moving to a greater emotional maturity. 1 is find a certain ritual. You can chant, you can pray, you can dance, you can write, you can go to sessions and therapy to work on your emotional body. This is one thing. And with light language and sacred geometry, you have the single geometry, you have the light language grid, and you also can just work with this vibration of color, with this specific medium aquamarine that support a healthy flow, allow a healthy flow. But actually, I would say that most of the shades of turquoise can be very, very supporting for you to move to a greater established emotional body, educated emotional body. And it's not a body that doesn't feel. You will feel. I do cry, I get angry, I do get frustrated, I just don't get attached to it. And sometimes in some things I might be attached to that, and then I'm getting the support that I need to overcome and to allow this flow to happen. Yeah, so I'm coming back to share with you that if you would like to learn more about how light language works, and to understand how light language works, it's actually to understand how you work and how life works and what is it reality, because it is 100% not what you think it is for most of the people most of the time. And I will be explaining that and going in depth into that on the 17th, which is Thursday at 7 o'clock in the evening. There's an online free webinar. I call it Reality Speaks Sacred Geometry. And I will start to hammer around the wall of your consciousness to for you to see more of what is real, which is not that as you usually, and it's not your limited perception of your own self. And in that event, I will also do an introduction to light language, since, as I shared in the beginning, in February, I will be teaching light language. I will be teaching level 1 of light language between the 4th to the 6th of January, and I will be teaching level 2 of light language. Let's see the dates, between the 11th to the 3rd and the 18th to the 20th, and I will elaborate what it is and how can you use light language to create the life that you want to create. Every single area of your life can meet you as the creator of your own life. Every single area, your relationship with yourself, your intimate relationship, your emotional body, your connection to source, your financial abundance, everything. In case you're using light language, but you're just using it in unaware way. That would be beautiful to share that. I'm teaching that knowledge for 15 years and I'm playing with this knowledge more than that, and it is, well, a ticket to heaven, you can say to yourself. We're arriving really to completion of this time, and I'm very grateful for each and every one of you who joined. I'm going to cross just a little bit to see questions and to be able to relate to them. This is a live transmission. Darshana is asking, yes, this is a live transmission, although what I was doing here was speaking, but I was not speaking, I was, we can say, emanating complex geometries that are way beyond our mind perception. And of course, we gave food to the mind that he will know what to do with this. And that this is supporting her to, yes, to integrate yesterday transmission, of course, because she's saying that it is connected to financial independence, of course, because if you are emotionally mature, most likely you are also emotionally independent, which means that you are not in a constant search for an intimate, or even not intimate, for a relationship that will again and again ignite the same habitual pattern, emotional pattern that you are dealing with. So emotionally independence means that you are able to give to yourself the emotions that you need, and you are able to generate even the emotion that you need. There's a lot more teaching about how to generate emotion or the energy of a certain emotion. And yeah, if you are emotionally independent, you also for sure will arrive to financial independence. Yeah. Maria Luisa, I love you. Thank you, everyone. Should I print the grid in A4? Yes, please grid. It doesn't matter if you print it in A4 or A5. Okay, so people who are asking how to get the grids, please go back to the top of, in Facebook it's at the top. On Instagram you can find it in my stories or in the link in my bio. You can search for live light sessions and enroll. Enroll there and the geometry will be sent to you by mail. Tomorrow we're going to tackle a super important topic, which is decision making. So important. As I said, all the subjects that I was picking are subjects that can create boundary to your life force. Not being able to take a decision, not being able to be clear with what is important for you is a waste of life force. Tons of energies are being washed away. And again, it is a limitation because if you're not okay with the way that you take decision, how you move forward from 1 minute to the other, you will also stay in a mediocre life. You would not be courageous enough to live the life that you would like to live because you become stronger, you become brighter, there's more things to do. Divinity will pick you and give you more, and you will need to deal more with decision making and more with clarity. So this is the topic for tomorrow. Thank you for asking. Yeah, thank you for each and every one of you. I know that there are more questions, but I feel that I know people were sending me questions, but excuse me, I will not be able to go deeper in that, and maybe I will do a short story about that. I will write it and will relate to it in my stories. If you're not following me on Instagram, please go ahead and do that because I teach every day on Instagram. So if you'd like to have more teaching, you are able to join. I want to share my gratitude for each and every one of you for being part. I want to share my gratitude with my spirit guides who have done an amazing work in night school to support me growing into a place where I can hold the sacred space together with you. And also I would like to share my gratitude with my beloved assistant, which is here with me, because she's also holding the space together with me, and it would be challenging to do it without her. See you tomorrow. See you in night school. And if there are questions for tomorrow download about decision making and clarity, please send it to me in a DM or in the post. We're going to post about it. So send me your questions and I will try to relate to them during the teaching. I hope that was beneficial for you. Please share it. Looking forward to see you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a blissful afternoon or day, depends, because I know some people from Australia are also watching. Bye-bye. Blessings.